Hey, good morning everyone, Vesper here. As you can see, Rashid has been officially released. He's playable right now. We've been streaming all night with this character, and before I head to sleep, I gotta release this video for you guys to catch everyone up. So, with Rashid's release, we actually got a pretty big patch. A lot of changes, especially the Drive Rush. So I'm gonna go over that in this video, all the buffs and nerfs they did to Drive Rush, as well as a very small balance patch. I'll read off the significant ones that are worth reading. Small shop updates, a really crazy Rashid bug that's already broken. He would be banned from Evil if they don't fix it right away. I'll show you guys how to do that, and all the little extras that come with this patch, just so you guys can hit the ground running as soon as you guys wake up. So let's start with the Drive Rush changes. First off, oh my god, Capcom took out the input eating on the Drive Rush, guys. So when the screen freezes now, during the time freeze when you do Drive Rush, it won't eat your inputs anymore. It'll actually be buffered. So thank goodness Capcom addresses. I thought this was intended, guys. I was super scared. The other thing that they buffed here is that if you didn't notice, when you do Drive Rush and then you hold down parry, like you buffer parry, it didn't do parry before. Like you would get a medium kick. So now you can actually like parry from Drive Rush. You could do it on modern controls, but not classic controls. So now keep in mind you can parry, and the freeze screen doesn't eat your input. Thank goodness. Now, if you guys have been out of the loop, they also add a quality of life change to Drive Rush, where you can now Drive Rush cancel by simply just pressing the mediums at the same time. Just press parry. So any button that can normally be Drive Rush, you can just press medium punch and medium kick at the same time, and boom, easy peasy. You don't have to press forward anymore, but if you still want to, you can. It's still in the game, but now I recommend, especially when you're doing light attacks, to simply just press the mediums at the same time. This is going to help a lot with joystick users, people that have problems doing it on the right side of the screen, doing it from crouching attacks, doing it from light attacks. You guys have to get used to it. I'm still doing forward, man. I'm still too plugged in. But eventually, everyone's just going to be using the medium input. It's just so much easier. So that's a good quality of life / buff to Drive Rush. Also, keep in mind, guys, if you're using the new shortcut to Drive Rush cancel, it has to be a neutral parry input. So you can't be holding any direction when you press it, or it can be a forward input, forward and mediums at the same time. And this is just so, you know, there's not other option selects or charge characters can't remain charging. However, it's still good for charge characters because they'll be able to charge right away just by pressing mediums. But just keep in mind if it's not coming out for you, it's neutral or hold forward. And if you're someone who uses modern controls, you simply just press the parry button for modern controls and it'll work. Also, keep in mind this is only for Drive Rush cancel. So any type of combo that juggles your opponent in the air, and then you have to raw Drive Rush in, you still have to hold down parry and press forward. It won't work by just pressing the two mediums. It's only for cancels. However, this comes at a huge cost. And Tokido, this is your fault, man. Abusing this during Street Fighter League. So what Capcom did is they made it so you can't buffer lights into Drive Rush when you whiff them. So check this out. You can Drive Rush on whiff from light attacks. And look at how much this costs. It costs 3 bars. A giant penalty. Okay, so if you don't understand what this means, basically Tokido during Street Fighter League was mashing lights and buffering forward with Ken. And what happens is if you're just doing this in front of your opponent, if they happen to like get swatted from this or they stick out a poke and they get counter poked, you can option select this and go into a Drive Rush basically when it hits and convert. I'll just show you the clip so you get what I mean.
I was sick. Another jab again. Look at these trades. Jab.
Odie Tatsu. Now we get potential throw loops. You just mashed the hell out of that. What was that?
Throw it out.
Punish counter. Again, Sam Jab is just stuffing out.
Now, because Capcom buffed Drive Rush further and made it just 2 medium inputs, this is going to become even easier to do after this patch. So good on Capcom for thinking ahead on this, and basically they nerfed it. So they made it so that if anyone tries to option select this and they quickly go light punch medium like that, they have to fully commit. So it's not an option select anymore. You can still buffer it, but it's simply a guess, because if you whiff thin air, you're going to lose 3 drive meters. So keep in mind this is only from light attacks that are cancelable. Only. This does not mean it works for mediums. Like if I do a crouching medium kick, it won't come out. So don't worry, it's specifically for light. See, crouching medium kick is cancelable. So it's just light attacks. And this includes forward as well. It's not just the mediums. Forward, it will come out on whiff. One interesting thing though, guys, about this nerf to this buffer option select using Drive Rush is that Capcom actually gave us a buff to doing raw drive rush. Legit. So here's a cool trick. So you know when you're really low on drive meter? Let's say you have like, you know, half of one bar. And to do a raw drive rush, you need to hit parry first, right? So when you have less than half a bar and you do parry, like this, you get burnt out and therefore you can't do the drive rush. But now, since you can cancel the light into it, even if you have less than one bar, you don't have to do the parry anymore because you can just mash light and buffer into the drive rush. See? You couldn't do that before. So I wonder if that will affect anything. That's interesting. All right, so let's bounce to the patch notes now. I'm gonna go through this really briefly and only mention the things worth mentioning. But if you guys want to read all this yourself, I will of course post links in the video description. So Rashid is released, blah blah blah. Keep in mind, guys, Rashid is in World Tour. I don't know where he is, but they added missions for him, and you do not need to own Rashid for him to be your master, and you can learn his moveset. So that's actually pretty wild. Unless my chat was lying to me, but I'm not really far in World Tour right now. Another thing, guys, to keep in mind is that your replays, your old replays are gone. You keep them, but they will not be able to be played back after this patch. So rip replays. All right, so first off, it mentions the drive rush stuff that I mentioned to you guys already. There seems to be a problem with modern controls during the assisted combos that were not registering at certain points. And weird stuff when people are parrying attacks like Dalsum's air fireball, or when Blanca does jumping medium punch, their inputs weren't coming out during parry. Just weird little bugs like that I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't even noticed. Ryu, there's like weird scaling issues that they fixed as well. Like Ryu's drive impact was not scaling properly during combos and it lowered his damage. Just very strange stuff. A lot of it is modern control stuff. They even had it for modern controls where certain characters, the amount of time they needed to charge was either faster or slower in modern controls, like Chun-Li's fireball and Blanca ball. So they fixed all of that and normalized all of that. Chun-Li's charge inputs were reversing during throws, like really weird stuff. So one of the most significant changes, if you're a Zangief player, apparently they fixed his level 1 super. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes of his level 1 never landing. It says fix Zangief's hitbox during his level 1 super art animation so it returns to a hitbox on the ground at the appropriate time instead of being a mid-air hitbox the entire time. I don't know if that fixes it. Whatever, there's something must have been bugged. But another thing too, guys, is the drive gauge. They fixed Zangief's drive gauge so it says it will recover slower than other characters when in burnout. They fixed it. So in case you guys don't know, Zangief was in burnout longer than any other character in the game. It was like only character. It's so strange. So they fixed that too. So 2 buffs for Zangief players. Right on. I don't think that matters at all, like on the tier list, but it's a welcome change that Zangief just didn't have to deal with. Another huge change, and this drove me crazy when I read this, guys. So apparently Cammy's heavy version of her dive kick, there was an issue where when you were manually inputting her dive kick, like when you're doing an instant air dive kick, it result in a jumping heavy attack coming out instead. In other words, the game would not let the special move come out. And I was learning PS5 controller during this, and I was going crazy, blaming the PS5 controller, trying to do dive kicks with Cammy. And now Capcom is telling me that it was bugged this entire time. So if you're a Cammy player and you're like going nuts pulling your hair out trying to do instant dive kick with the heavy version, apparently it's fixed and it wasn't you this whole time, it was the game. Absolutely ridiculous change. Guys, Lily got a nerf. They took out Lily's jump back condor dive. Capcom actually went after Lily, man. So if you guys didn't know about this, if you blinked while you jumped back and did her condor dive, she was able to do jumping backwards, which she normally wasn't able to. And apparently you could do it with her level 2 super as well. I don't know, but either way, they took it out, man. Lily, rip. It's so ridiculous. I mean, I never used it myself, but it's so funny that Capcom went after this. Apparently, Jury was able to carry cancel her boosted attacks. She can't do that anymore as well. Lots of modern control fixes, like I said with Marisa. Apparently with Scudam, she couldn't hold down after. Honda, what did they change with Honda? He was able to carry cancel too with his crouching light punch. What? A big change for Jamie. So if you use Jamie on modern controls, and I don't know why you would, like if you want an even bigger damage nerf, I suppose, but they took out his crouching light kick, so his crouching light attack is no longer a crouching light kick. It's a crouching light punch. because Jamie didn't have access to a 4-framer in modern controls. So now it's crouching light punch, and now Jamie can't hit you low with a light. So yeah, that's interesting. Once again, if you're interested in reading these notes yourself, I'll provide a link in the video description. But that pretty much sums it up. Capcom also did a really small update to the shop. You know, the hub shop that like never seems to like update. Anyways, if you go there, they added like pirate costumes and summer costumes. This entire set costs 1,200 fighter coins, man. That's like 12 bones, I think, total. But you can buy the stuff individually for drive tickets, but it costs so many drive tickets. I haven't spent any drive tickets since this game's launched, and I think it would cost me everything. Like, I would lose every drive ticket. But if you really like pirates or any of these other summer costume stuff, you can buy them. So keep in mind, if you guys are really fancy your avatars or you want a buddy sitting on your shoulder, just know that the good shop has been added. If you guys see Pirate Vesper, make sure to say hi. Also, keep in mind too, guys, if you're on the fence on purchasing Rashid, if you don't know if you'll like him or not, you should have those rental tickets. If you guys did the fighter passes, should be about 4 hours of free play time on 4 different rental tickets. So it's 1 hour each per ticket. Make sure to use those first. Another thing I noticed too, guys, is in training mode, when you go through the settings, they made it a little easier to see between the record and replay. You can see on the top here, there's like a sub list now. So it's just a little easier to navigate when you guys are labbing hard with Rashid. They made it more convenient. All right, let's get to this crazy Rashid bug now. I'm sure you guys want to know about this. Okay, so Rashid's level 2 is apparently bugged. I'm sure you guys seen it on Twitter by now. So when Rashid does his level 2, for some reason, when you do his Arabian Cyclone follow-up, it doesn't matter if you do the air dash follow-up or you do the roll follow-up. As long as you like hold forward, Rashid's level 2 just like won't go away. Like, it's so ridiculous. Here, I'll just show you guys. I mean, some things can't be explained with words. You're just gonna have to see it yourself. Oh, Capcom, man. That lasted way longer than usual. How did this get through? Like, how did this get greenlit, man? This is like so easy to find this out accidentally. Like, what is going on? I think it goes without saying that they need to fix this before EVO, man. We got less than 2 weeks. Pro players are licking their lips, already dropping their characters for Rashid. It's madness, man. But yeah, don't forget, guys, that there's gonna be a ton of Rashid content on the channel, obviously, so expect the combo guide to drop. And of course, I'll be going through a lot of tips and tricks as I learn him and reviewing him, of course. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, keep you guys posted as usual, and we'll be releasing more Street Fighter 6 guides in the future. So enjoy Rashid, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm heading to sleep. Peace.